Hello, everyone. Father Tollefson here. I was asked by your teacher, Mrs. Fonseca, to give my vocation story, so I'll do that for a couple minutes here. Well, I was born back in 1971, and that's a long time ago for all of you, I know. But I was baptized into a Christian denomination. That's a group of Christians called the United Church of Christ. So I was baptized back in March of 1971. Then I was very active in my church, and I felt a drawing or a call to that church for a long time. I was active in the bell choir, the brass choir, the singing choir of different kinds. Back in 1987, I was able to sing a very special requiem or funeral mass with a little orchestra at the church. I was very close to Glenn Harrington Hall, who was the assistant pastor there, and I was very inspired by his homilies, his sermons. He would preach a lot on the poor and on racial injustice, and I was very inspired by his very eloquent words. That would have been one of the first connections, I think, toward a call toward the priesthood. But as much as I liked certain people there at the church, it also didn't quite fit in. I was a little bit more traditional, perhaps a lot more traditional than the thinking of those who are in the UCC, or United Church of Christ. So after I became graduated from high school, I went to St. Louis Park High School. I went to St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota, looking to perhaps become a Lutheran and a physician. I wanted to be a family doctor. So much for that after I took my chemistry classes, but God closed that door and opened another one as I was involving myself more and more in religious activities and thinking about the Lutheran ministry. So I became Lutheran in 1991, but I wasn't quite satisfied with that. I really wanted more. So I proposed my own class called Modern Catholicism, and I studied with a very famous Lutheran theologian at the time, Dr. Robert Jensen, and he was very inspiring to me, and he was more of the Catholic ilk, or the Catholic part of being Lutheran, kind of stressed that point. He would wear his collar around and was more traditional. So I was very attracted to that kind of Lutheranism, but still not completely at peace. One of the things I just couldn't deal with was kind of an ambivalence on the issue of abortion and on other issues as well. So I had to go keep looking. And in that class that I had with Dr. Jensen, I became very, very attracted to the Catholic Church. But I wasn't sure because I knew it was a big commitment to become Catholic. So I graduated from St. Olaf in '93 and went to a Franciscan friary. That's a place where Franciscan brothers and fathers live in Illinois called Marytown. So I was at Marytown as a volunteer, discerning my vocation or call to the Catholic Church first, and then after that, I was received into the Catholic Church in 1994 in Lakeville, Minnesota. Father Larry Blake, who many of you or your parents might know, who was assigned here as a priest, was my confirmation sponsor. He had been a Lutheran pastor for 15 years and then became a Catholic and then was ordained a priest in 1999, and I was actually a server at his ordination at St. Hubert right here in 1999. That was amazing. So then, after having joined the Catholic Church, I spent some time at a home parish in Golden Valley, and after that, wanted to join the seminary right away. So 6 years later, I had completed 2 years at St. John Vianney College Seminary in the campus of St. Thomas University in St. Paul, and also 4 years at St. Paul Seminary on the campus of St. Thomas in St. Paul. So a lot of time in St. Paul for a Minneapolis kid, but it's a beautiful city. So I was then ordained a priest in 2001 and was assigned to the Church of St. Charles Borromeo in Northeast Minneapolis for 3 years and had a wonderful experience there of being loved and of serving the people of God there. In 2004, Archbishop Flynn said, "Now, Father Tollefson, I want you to be a spiritual director at St. John Vianney College Seminary. So the very seminary that I went to, I became a spiritual director at. That means that I was somebody who would help young men who are in college to discern if they wanted to be a priest or not. Help them to grow in social skills and academic skills, and in their prayer life, and in being a man for others. Did that for 7 years, loved it, had a lot of time to study in the summers, which was fantastic to learn the craft of spiritual direction. And then Archbishop Neinstead called me, and he said, I want you to go to St. Hubert in Chanhassen. Well, I had been to Chanhassen before. It was where the dinner theater was. I had been to St. Hubert before because of the ordination of Father Larry Blake, but hadn't spent much time here. So I've been here since 2011. It's a beautiful place, and the Lord continues my vocation story even here as I continue to try to grow in humility and in the call that the Lord is trying to move forward in my life as well. So I thank you for your attention today, and that's my vocation story. God bless. Bye.